You're saying, Your Honor, you're saying this is a criminal matter?
Yes.
Okay, well then we need the corpus delicti. You have the identification of the person, which is me, but you don't have a person saying that they were hurt or damaged, or the crime that's saying what I did to hurt or damage the person. So how do you have a crime?
You went to law school?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
You're in a whole different ball game, and you need to come on to this ball game.
All right, folks. Today's court session was something else. Judge Perkins, who's known for being firm and fair, was dealing with a man who apparently decided the rules don't apply to him. The defendant claims he's a sovereign citizen. In other words, he believes he can ignore regular laws just because he says so. But Judge Perkins wasn't having any of it and quickly brought things back to reality. The man kept throwing around confusing legal terms like corporate DCTI as if he'd uncovered some hidden truth. Meanwhile,
I give you a $0 bond. Now recall. What is your motion, sir?
I have a motion to strike and dismiss.
What are the bases?
Basis of federal rules of civil procedure. Number one, there's no claim. There's no ratification of the claim.
There is a claim. There is a. You want me to read out I waived the reading of the information. You want me to read the allegations that have been made into the record? Do you need me to do that?
No, I don't. No, I don't, Your Honor.
I deny your motion on that basis. What else do you have to say? What else?
You deny my motion because of what, Your Honor?
Yes.
There is no real.
I deny your motion because there is a and this is criminal procedure, not civil procedure. But I denied your motion because there is an allegation here.
You're saying, Your Honor, you're saying this is a criminal matter?
Yes.
Okay, well then we need the corpus delicti. And so that's what I'm asking for. If there was a criminal matter, basically what you're telling me is that something has happened, someone has either been damaged or someone has been or either someone has been damaged or someone has something has been come up missing. And if that's the case, then that means that there is a crime. And if there's a crime, then there is the what do you have that's saying that I did the crime? What you're saying that I created this crime that hurt this person, and if I hurt this person and I created the crime, then a third thing that you have to have is the identification of the person. You have the identification of the person, which is me, but you don't have a person saying that they were hurt or damaged, or the crime that's saying what I did to hurt or damage the person. So how do you have a crime?
Okay. You went to law school?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
And where did you get that? Where did you get that from? Where did you learn all that?
I've been studying for quite some time, trying to understand what's going on. I have a different perspective as to what's being said that happened. I'm understanding more necessary for a crime to go for them to bring a crime forward. I'm understanding that a bit more.
And where did you get that understanding?
I've done some Cornell law studies. I've also sat down with a couple of friends who have had some issues. I picked up wherever I could, just started to study the law, just started to go back through Cornell law, started to figure out what was going on and to understand the nature of how what a crime is and everything else. So just a course of me searching it out.
And you're citing Cornell law for all of that you just said to the court?
No, what I did, Your Honor, was I realized that one of the biggest portions that you have to have is you have to have the corpus.
stayed calm and professional, clearly not rattled by any of it. At one point, the defendant even started quoting random laws he'd read online, hoping that would impress the court. But let's be honest, citing websites doesn't make you a legal expert, especially not in front of a judge with decades of experience, and it gets even more unbelievable. He's now asking for a full jury trial over basic traffic violations, things like running stop signs and driving without a license. Normally, jury trials are reserved for serious offenses, not minor traffic tickets. It seems like he's just creating extra drama, hoping to avoid responsibility. Judge Perkins made an excellent point during the hearing. The defendant claimed the officer had no right to pull him over, almost like public roads don't have any rules. But that's not how the system works. Traffic laws apply to everyone. Instead of answering the judge's simple question,
that is in when you're being charged criminally.
What is a corpus delicti?
What do you mean? What is the corpus delicti?
What is your understanding of what corpus delicti is?
That is the corpus delicti is the law that's saying that there is a crime that's being committed. So in order to do that, you have to show the corpus delicti, which is you saying this is what happened. This is how this person was damaged.
So
there is no
the
person.
Officer on this day, on these dates, because I got a lot of them, said that
I object. I object. The officer works.
Don't interrupt me.
I apologize, Your Honor. I apologize, Your Honor. My apologies.
The officer says that you drove a vehicle that wasn't registered and wasn't titled, or titled and or untitled, that you drove without a valid driver's license, that you drove without valid insurance. Again, on a different occasion, they allege that you drove without a valid driver's license and no insurance. And then on a different occasion, they allege that you drove without unregistered or untitled or both, and drove without a valid driver's license, repeat offender, that you failed to have a trailer plate, and that you failed to secure a load on your vehicle. And on another occasion, on the same occasion that you failed to secure, that they allege you failed to secure the load, failed to have a trailer plate on your vehicle, that you didn't provide a valid driver's license. So those are the crimes. And in the state of Michigan, whether you agree or not, they are crimes. So based on your motion and all of that stuff you talk about, corpus delicti and things like that, the court denies the motion, okay? Based on those reasons that I just said. Now, how do you want to move forward? Because wait a minute, I'm not finished.
My apologies, Your Honor.
How do you want to move forward? Because in my experience, someone that comes into court, as you do, you do not want to take an offer. You do not believe that you need to have plates or registration or insurance, and you just disregard all of that portion of the law. And either you are going to move forward by having a trial, or you're going to take a deal. What do you want to do, sir?
Your Honor, first I want to put my objection on the record. And at that point,
whatever your objection is noted. What do you want to do, sir? Do you want a trial? You have two options: trial, or you want to take a deal.
Your Honor, I request a jury trial.
A jury trial.
A jury trial, yes.
Judge's simple questions, he kept dodging and making things worse for himself. If he had just accepted responsibility, this would have been over quickly. Now, he's taking the case to a jury trial set for March 2025. But let's be real. It's unlikely a group of everyday citizens will side with someone who's openly ignoring the law. The laws he's quoting don't even relate to his situation. He's acting like he's figured out a legal loophole, but in reality, he seems completely off track. You have to admire Judge Perkins for keeping his cool through all this. Most people would have lost patience long ago. Instead of just resolving the matter and moving on, this defendant is setting himself up for a much harsher outcome. What do you think? Is this guy true?
You know what I want to ask, Mr. Gray, and you can choose to answer it or not.
Yes, Your Honor.
But what I surmise and what I've heard, and I don't know if you're alleging the same thing, is that and you basically did allege the same thing, that no crime has been committed because no person has been, the people of the state of Michigan are in danger of you driving without the proper documentation or anything like that. But I don't, and I'm gonna surmise, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you're gonna say that there's no jurisdiction to be able to pull you over because no one has been injured. Is that correct?
I think that what I'm saying is that the city of Detroit had an officer pull me over to say that you're not following these rules. And my stance is, okay, well, then that's fine. If we're following rules, then therefore, let me make sure that you as well as are following the rules, because if I don't do that, then freedoms are lost. So that is that is the way that I proceed, to say, okay, well, then if we're playing cards and we playing show me yours, if this is your hand, then this is mine, and let's proceed accordingly to the law. That's it. That's my only standing is, if someone doesn't stand up every once in a while and define the edges, then they all disintegrate and people lose rights.
And you know something? With that being said, I would agree with you 1,000%. Mm-hmm. That's why I pride myself, and I hope I'm doing a good job for the citizens that come in here, and the police for that matter, and the prosecution, that I am calling the balls and strikes right. And if something doesn't proceed as it should, then I will dismiss the case one way or the other. But in my short time on this bench, and in my time at practicing law as a defense attorney, I get this, they can't pull me over. I've heard the corpus delicti, first time the civil procedure has been thrown at me. But from the way I see it, is that you just don't feel that the police have a jurisdiction to pull you over for these issues. Is that correct?
Do I have Your Honor, what I feel is that if we are following...
Truly confused, or is he playing a role? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I always enjoy hearing your opinions, and if you found this case interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got more updates coming your way soon. Thanks for watching and take care.